Hey, Lynn.
Hey, I thought that I was on the new link, but I guess I wasn't. So
That's
I
weird.
I had to go through Kajabi to get it. Yeah, I know, because I added it to my calendar from that new email. The one that Michelle sent. I don't know why it came from Michelle, but
Michelle or
yeah.
Barrett?
No, it came from Michelle.
That's weird.
But it was like a new link or something. So I deleted the old one and I added this one, but I don't know why it didn't work. I'll just click your link from now on.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to set up the otter and it's not working.
Ay, ay, ay.
Not connecting for some reason.
I'm getting a call. Should I answer it or should I just wait till
Uh,
after?
you could leave it.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's the last few digits of the link that you did?
The first one or the correct one?
The correct one.
3357.
Let's see. Where's the one that Barrett sent? Here it is. That's what we're in now, right?
Yes. The one from Kajabi is the one that I used. But I think the other one is the new link. I don't know if we're supposed to be in that link.
We're supposed to be in the 3357.
Okay, so then that's the one we're in.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, 3357. And
Okay.
that's what we're in right now. It says it's recording. Right?
I heard it say this is being recorded.
No, why did an otter happen? New taker is working on joining the meeting. Hmm. Hmm. The otter is supposed to start recording, and I don't know why it's not.
Is this definitely the link? Like maybe
Yeah, you want me to log out? Well, let's log out
I
and
don't
log back
know.
in.
I'm wondering if I should go to the like maybe if other people are on the other link on
What's
accident.
the other link? Where did it come from?
I got an email that it was an
It's
updated link.
yeah, it should have been like to new note to all extraordinaires from Client Care Mastermind. And then it said this will always be the Wednesday link.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, you're right. 3357.
Right, that's the correct link. I mean, I'll log back out and log back in again,
I just don't understand why no one's here.
unless they're all on the wrong link or no one
Right.
saw it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Oh,
so we're in the right link because the note taker just logged in.
okay.
They might not have seen it. I mean, we could wait a few more minutes. If not, then we'll just have a meeting. It's okay. No, we're definitely in the right link for sure. So maybe some people didn't see it or didn't read it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me post in, let me take a picture.
I mean, it sent an email too, so like if anyone is confused, they can check their email and be like, oh, this is the right link. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the mastermind link. Let me just. Yeah, no, it's the right link in Kajabi too.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll just start and then it's fine.
Okay.
Um, how are you? I had a so my question, like the icebreaker question, like what is your most favorite comfort food?
Oh, it's kind of a weird answer, but ha have you ever heard of avocado pasta?
No.
So it's basically like it's just like a creamy pasta made with avocado. You get a food processor, you put avocado, lemon juice, basil, salt, pepper. I had pepper
Interesting.
flakes, garlic powder, and then you blend it all up and you put it on top of pasta, and it's so good. I don't know why, but that's like my go-to all-time favorite like comfort
Do you serve
food
it
dish.
warm?
I like it warm, but you can eat it cold or warm. And then you can add like corn and tomatoes in it. It's very
Mm.
it's very interesting. I don't know how I came across it, but I can send you the
Okay.
link for it if
I've
you're
definitely
interested.
never heard of it before, but I would be totally into trying it.
I'll send you the link.
Mine
You
is
can find
definitely
it.
Thanksgiving dinner for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, like
I definitely love
turkey
stuffing.
stuffing, mashed potatoes. I've always wanted to have Thanksgiving in the summer, like um just I don't know, like a halfway mark to
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, but or I guess it would really be in the spring, but
who says you
I
can't?
I know I want to do it. I think I need to do it,
Do you like
but
cranberry sauce?
no, but I'm like basic, like mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuffing, carrots, Brussels sprouts, turkey.
Nice.
Yeah, like super basic. But all right, so I mean you and I did KPIs yesterday. But so we were gonna talk about like who the winner of the conversion was. So I was waiting to find out. There was one other office that had a super high conversion. It was like 83%. It was really high. And but Chris's group, I was unable to access the conversion. So I'm not quite sure who the winner is, but for the month of July, we're going to work on who can reduce our loss, the loss percentage the most based on last month. So if you go into the KPIs for passages and see what the total loss percentage was, which the total should be there since we had finished the month yesterday.
Hmm.
And then whatever that is, what the difference between that month and whatever this month is, whoever has the greatest difference will be the winner.
So our number was 58%.
So if our loss percentage was 58%, then we would, and then let's say we did 28% this month, our difference would be 30%. So whoever has like the largest difference is the winner,
Okay.
like the largest decreased difference. So
Hmm.
that'll be our July contest. So as soon as we gather everyone's June and we find out who the winner is for June, we'll announce the winner for June. And then July we'll work on um that for the month of July. But I feel like coming off of the month of June for passages, we didn't really have this like spectacular month. So there's only
Yeah,
one way to go, and that's up.
mhm. But like if we marked 58% as lost and we booked 26%, what about the other 14%?
Those are people that are in the pipeline hanging out. So like
Okay.
those are people that either, you know, haven't decided, they're still in the pipeline. Those are like the 20 something, 23, people that are still moving their way through the stages. So, how did you like the KPI, like learning the KPIs yesterday and understanding the process and tracking and stuff like that?
I thought it was interesting and helpful. I would like to continue to do it. I think I don't know if I would be able to do it on my own yet, but like if you just checked it, then I think that would be good.
Do you feel like as the intake coordinator, like I guess maybe speaking on behalf of yourself, but also behalf on other intake coordinators that are in masterminds, that it's helpful to do the tracking or be in the know of the tracking to then understand how you're doing or how like the intake position is overall doing for the month?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that it would change like my performance. Like I always give 100%, but like it is interesting to know and to see it or see like themes and patterns of like insurance and like things that we can do to like help certain clients that are often lost based on like insurance or the reason, stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's important too, to see the trends and especially since you're like the point person of understanding that process. And, if you're noticing like, oh, hey, yeah, I noticed that we had more of this insurance and less of this insurance this month. And I wonder why we are. And, how can we, maybe change something we're doing to book more of those clients that are calling with that insurance.
yeah.
So I think that's super helpful. What do you attribute the lower conversion and lower increase for the month of June as opposed to, the month before that was super busy?
Um, I don't know, cause I feel like the other day there were a lot of inquiries and then none of them booked. And I
Okay.
feel like it was all because of insurance. Um, and I don't know, like maybe a lot of people want to try to save more money in the summer. Like, I feel like a lot of people who call are teachers or like their partner is a teacher or something. Like maybe they just don't want to spend the money during the summer. Or like they have other trips planned. I don't know.
Like more of a lack of commitment.
Yeah, maybe. Like it's just too much to think to spend up front or like at a time to meet their deductible.
Do you think people are more inclined to commit during the school year if they have school age children because it's more of a schedule as opposed to individuals who, during the summer where they kind of just feel like because their kids might not have a schedule, their schedule's off and it's harder to maintain those sessions for themselves?
Yeah. Yes, because then they have to arrange childcare. Whereas
Mm,
during the school year, childcare is school or like other arrangements that they might have. Like summer's a lot more all over the place. Yeah, I don't
like yeah,
know.
activities, right?
Mhm.
I wonder though, I would think sometimes that people feel like they have more free time in the summer and that it would be easier because so many people complain that it's so busy during the school year.
Yeah.
But maybe even though they're so busy, scheduling or committing to sessions is easier because of the hectic nature of the schedule, as opposed to people just kind of not having a schedule and being kind of more laxed about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like even maybe they feel like they need it more during the school year because they're stressed, and then as summer comes, maybe they just don't need support.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
So,
Yeah. So, did you have an opportunity to see Barrett had posted a question about
yeah.
pros and cons? I thought it was interesting because we don't do that, but I know quite a few other practices do. And um, I was interested, being that there aren't any practices that do it that are on the call. Um, it's kind of like a one-sided conversation on our end, but I was
Mhm.
interested in your thoughts and what you were thinking and,
I was honestly a little confused by the question. I didn't really know what she was talking about. I don't know if that's because we don't do it or if I just didn't like process the
so I
question.
think some offices have an opportunity where you can do like a quick, like a free 5 to 10 minute meet and greet over the phone or maybe tell like a video, whatever, to see if the client is a good fit for the clinician. I know a lot of solo practices do it where it's like, let's have like a quick 10 to 15-minute telephone conversation and it kind of reviews it's almost like the intake packet in verbal form, So, like, what are your support needs? Do you think that you and that clinician will be a good fit? Um, I would imagine whomever that person was, they would go over like finances and insurance and stuff like that. But I guess what's interesting is I wonder about the actual process of offices that do it because it's like you're having this person have this 10 to 15-minute conversation over the phone. So then if they want to move forward, do you then prolong the phone call to gather the information, or are they hanging up with that clinician and then now intake has to get in touch with them to take care of the administrative parts of that?
Sounds very involved.
Yeah, I wasn't so I was, hoping, to have a few people on the call today could to get input. Like I think Liam's group um does that, I believe. Um I know a few solo providers that do it. So I've always been interested in that process. I think that for our practice, we tend to just like things more streamlined and um calling and you're trained to be like that soft marker and if they're appropriate and so on and so forth
Yeah.
and then booking them. But I wonder if there's a difference between people who convert and keep the appointments. Is there a percentage of people that keep the appointments more so because they had that 10 to 15-minute meeting? Or are they more so inclined to keep it because they didn't and they want to see if they're a good fit with that person? Does that make sense that what I'm asking? Like what I'm saying?
Yeah. I almost feel like they would be like if they were turned off by it, then they would just like ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like sometimes maybe clients here don't always initially feel a connection with their clinician, but like they come back because they're scheduled and then they develop a relationship. Like I felt that way with my therapist at first. So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, like maybe if I did a 10-minute call with her, it would have been like, no thanks. Like I don't know.
Do you think that, well, also I think that it takes a few sessions to cultivate a relationship with somebody.
But
So,
but I don't think that clients are thinking of that.
right. They're
I
like,
think
I
they're
like this
just like,
person, I don't like
yeah.
this person, or I don't
Mm,
like what this person's wearing, or I don't look like what they look like today, or
mm,
maybe if they're the clinician is having a bit of a frustrating day, so they're not as understanding or communicative as they normally are, then is it that potential client lost because of that 10-minute conversation?
yeah. I think it's also an extra thing for the clinicians to have to do. Like if they're scheduled all day long, like from let's just say 9 to 5, and then they have the 15 minutes to do their note, like when are they supposed to be making time to like chat with new clients?
Yeah.
Because like
And
how often does the phone call really end at 5 to 10 minutes? Like I don't know. People have questions and like what isn't that the role of the client care coordinator? Like where's the line?
right, like where's the boundary?
Yeah.
And then unless, I mean, unless it makes a difference if they're 1099 clinicians and they're making their own schedules, but then I don't, right, but then what's the purpose of the care coordinator anyway if they're making their own schedules?
I guess it's like the oh my gosh, care coordinator would say, "Oh, I think this person would be a good fit for you," and then set up the 5 to 10 minute call.
Right, but then it
But
would
then
go,
it's so, yeah, like if you're gonna
right,
move it to that step, just keep it there because then they have to like go back. It's like too many
right.
people, I
And
feel
too
like.
many like steps.
Steps, yeah.
I always think of like metrics. Like, I wonder the amount of people that would be interested in
Hmm.
going through all those steps, and then the number of
Yeah,
people interested in just wanting to book it, know that
right.
it's there, and have it. And like, I wonder the efficiency purposes of like the whole process
Yeah.
and right, how much time does it take out of the clinician's day
I feel like
if
someone would have to be very committed.
yeah, I feel like
But
we would have to bring this up next time just to see like how the other offices that do it, what their process is.
yeah. But I mean, maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing because, like, the people who are willing to go through those steps, like, are definitely, clients that would be consistent because they're committed. But
Right.
I don't know. I feel like almost sometimes there will be clients that I'm able to schedule who might not always be completely on board, but then they're like swung because they do go to the like that session and like see for themselves. I don't know. But then I guess maybe that's what the phone call could be for some people.
When you say that, I think about you, where if I were a client and I were talking to you on the phone and was feeling hesitant, and you were saying to me, well, based on what you've told me, I feel that you would be a great match for so and so for these reasons.
Mhm.
So it's almost like I feel like your voice is the like in lieu of that 10-minute consultation. You know,
Yeah,
your opinion, which is clearly like heavily like supported, and it's, your opinion of what you think would be like your intuition really is
yeah,
what like kind of makes or breaks it.
yeah. I mean, it's like my job to know the clinicians very well and like what they're good at and like the kind of clients that they work well with.
Hmm.
And I
Especially
feel,
personality.
yeah, and I feel like for the most part, like there definitely have been, I'm sure, a couple clients that like have terminated based on like personality differences, but I feel like for the most part, when I go with like my intuition, like it's good, like it's right. Like there are times I have to schedule people just based on like who's available, and I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. But like
Roll the
for the
dice.
most part, when it aligns the way that I want, it usually always works well.
What do you attribute your knowledge of clinicians, like of all the clinicians that you work with, and like the soft screenings that you've learned for the clients? Like, what do you attribute all of that to give you like that intuitive feeling? Like, what do you think you've done, or what have you done, like to cultivate that confidence for
Mhm.
yourself?
I feel like there are a lot of tools to help me. Like we have a clinician directory. I used that a lot like in the beginning when I first started to refer back to it. Now I have like my own clinician directory in my head, but like speaking with the clinicians, it's tough because like some of the clinicians that are in Setauket, like I don't always get to talk to, but there's also like events that Michelle has where like I do get to interact with them and like see for myself like how they are, or like even the way that you speak about them or other clinicians. Like it's obviously easier for me to know everyone who's here, like Nicole and Karen and Judy. Like more so when someone's trying to book in Seville, I like know right away. Sometimes for Sataka, it's a little tough. Like if someone's saying, oh, they want someone who's like not gonna cut around, you know, beat around the bush, I'm like, okay, Heidi, like that's easy. And I feel like Leanne, like she's very like she's a lot of things, like a lot of things she's good at. So like when I feel like there's a client who needs something only she can give, like I'll book her. She always books so fast too. I don't know. It just feels like I just know.
So you think like the clinician directory, meeting those clinicians like either like in person or on Zoom, like having like conversation with them, or like the meet and greet, like understanding like their personalities, but also in a social setting too, you feel like is super helpful?
Yes, because like in a social setting, I'm seeing their personality in a way that maybe I wouldn't in like a completely professional way.
Hmm.
Like I don't know how to explain it.
I can understand what you're saying, where, maybe someone's they might be a very strong clinician, but maybe they're just not somebody who laughs often. And maybe a client needs that laughter for whatever reason, like personality wise.
Yeah.
So it's like having two clinicians that could support, but is one more outgoing than the other,
Mhm.
or, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. And what do you think was the most, when you were being onboarded, what was the most helpful tool for you, or if you have like two tools, coming into the position as an intake coordinator with, lots of responsibilities and moving parts and clinicians? Like, was there one or two tools that stands out to you that you felt like was helpful?
Well, definitely the clinician directory for sure. And I would add on to it and like write my own notes on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also did use the handbook. Like there are other things in there that we spoke about, like scripts. Like I have a script on my screen. I still have it open, but I don't refer to it as much because I feel like I have it memorized by now. But um, about like which insurances we don't take or why we don't do couples counseling through insurance, like stuff like that. I feel like that helped me develop the language that I that we use here that's more like appropriate
Mm-hmm.
to this setting, I guess. Um so yeah, I feel like the clinician directory definitely helped me learn the basics of the clinicians, and then the handbook helped me learn how to speak to clients and like what to expect from a phone call. And then the scripts helped me with what to say and like how to handle or respond to certain things while being on the call.
No, that's super helpful. Yeah, because it could be intimidating, especially if, you're coming in as like and you had previous experience in other settings, but it could be
Yeah.
very intimidating when someone's on the phone, depending on whatever their support need is. And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like, with all the nuances of insurances and so, who to book with who and who can't see who and so, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
it's good to know that those, three areas, you felt solid that you had that, and that was really helpful for you.
Yeah. I think also knowing that like having things to say when I don't know what to say, like if I don't know if someone's appropriate to book with someone, I'll just say, "Oh, I'm gonna reach out to the clinician to see what their availability is like. If this like something like that to kind of just buy me some time." I
Oh,
that
okay.
Yeah, because there are times where I have to ask you, like, "Hey, do you think that this is like okay to book?" But I will tell them I'm just gonna reach out to the clinician to see if this appointment is available. Can I get back to you tomorrow? And like
And
they won't
that's
know
it's like you're
anything.
out
Yeah,
without the client knowing.
yeah. And that's kind of like my go-to if I don't really know. Because I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? I need something to say. Because sometimes I do get, like, I'll stutter, so I try to be very careful about, like, slowing down and thinking about what I'm saying and how I'm saying it.
So is
Yeah.
that typically your go-to statement if you're not sure if a client's appropriate of, okay, let me see if the clinician is available or has availability and I'll get back to you?
Yeah, or I'll say something along the lines of like they're changing their schedule or like their appointments on hold or I don't know, something random that wouldn't make someone like be suspicious, but
It applies to the context of the conversation, but also allows you
mhm.
to end the conversation to then like double and triple check whatever you need to double and triple check.
Yeah, I think I usually say, "Oh, I'm just gonna reach out to the clinician to confirm their availability on this day,"
And
and
that's super
then
helpful.
that's it. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I wonder what other offices say. Because clearly saying I don't know if you're appropriate to be seen here, is I think that's a fine line. I can appreciate saying, I'm not the acuity of somebody's support need and being honest and saying, I don't know if you're appropriate. You might need a more
Hmm.
intense therapeutic regimen that we can offer to you, that we can offer. And going here, X, Y, and Z may be a better option for you. But then on the same token, it's like how to say it, how to say the right way,
Hmm.
or I'm sorry, we don't have the availability for you, but I can refer you to these places, and those places being the more acute places that can provide them the support that they need without them w- directly knowing that that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, they didn't have availability, but I have these resources for you that I think apply to what your support needs are, and they might be more helpful than whatever. Like, I feel like I've had to do that maybe a couple times.
As an intake coordinator, do you feel like if there was any type of like workshop or um, conference, or like what would be helpful as an intake coordinator to be educated or work alongside other coordinators, to learn certain things? Like, what do you think would be something you would be interested in participating in and learning and being a part of?
Probably how to handle difficult calls in that context. Because I feel like I know what to do, but I might be nervous if it came down to it. Like I feel like we haven't really had anything too crazy, but um just knowing 100% how to handle it and being confident that I could. Not that I'm not, but I think it just like gives me anxiety sometimes. Because like you never know what you're gonna get when you pick up the phone. Like I have all the resources, but like ensuring I know how to use them the way that I need.
Like de-escalating somebody that might be
Yeah,
extra,
yeah.
and like when like is 911 ever needed if somebody's extra
Hmm.
on the phone? Like how, like what do you do
Yeah,
if you feel like somebody's in a situation?
yeah. But in terms of other workshops, like I think I would find anything helpful, really. There's always areas to improve, even if I think we're doing well. So I guess it's kind of a hard question to answer, but I'm always like interested in hearing like more efficient ways to communicate like our services and helping people understand their benefits and words that are more appropriate to use versus like other phrasings.
Do you think like an update on like medication management and understanding medications and why certain clients might be on them is helpful?
Yeah, I actually do think that would be very helpful. I think for the most part, like I can use my context clues. And I also do Google it because if they're gonna like tell me what it is and I don't know, like I want to know what it is. I think a lot of the
Hmm.
times it's just medications I haven't heard of for like anxiety and depression or like sleep medications.
Or if like they're saying the generic brand and it's not the brand,
Yes.
and then it's like, wait, what is this again?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you have enough time? Like if you're on the phone with somebody and they're telling you these medications, do you like Google it in real time while you're on the phone talking to them?
I think for the most part I do, or like I'll try to write it down fast based on like how I hear it. The spelling is sometimes off. And then I'll just like throw it into Google while they're talking. Because I'll ask them like what your support needs are. Some people like to talk for a while, so like I do have the time. Others people don't always say much, but I feel like I kind of just ask something random or say, okay, well, blah, 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 like while I'm doing something else. Um, Usually it's like of their availability because I'll go in order of what I usually do, which is like who referred you, um, what location you're looking for, what your insurance is, like if you're on medications for anything, if they've ever been hospitalized, then what their availability is.
So it feels like you have enough time, like going down.
Yeah. And if there's anything not on the like if I've already gone through all of that, I'll just say like, okay, well, I think that, I have a couple people that might be, and then I'll just start talking about the clinicians. Because I also have the openings open, so I can see like based on what they just told me, who I can maybe put them with. And if I don't
Hmm.
think that there's anyone I could put them with, then I don't know, I'll tell them. Or like I'll give them other resources. So based on like all the information that I now have about them and like the medications they take. So
All right. I like it. I feel like these are some good ideas for workshops. I definitely think like the de-escalating workshop would be such a great workshop to do with like a role playing type, you know, that would be fun. It's fun to learn.
oh god.
So, but definitely understanding medications too. I mean, that's always like an evolving. I think that might be personalized to each office, because each office is different based on the acuity of the people they support. But certainly the de-escalation is a great idea. So, um, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't no, I don't think so.
I know. We did our metrics together yesterday, so I feel like it's redundant for us to do it today.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.